Change control is a structured methodology employed to manage and regulate any proposed alterations that have the potential to impact the established baseline of a project. This method provides a systematic way of capturing, assessing, and handling changes from the moment they are identified throughout the entire project lifecycle. It encompasses various stages, including evaluation, approval, rejection, or deferral of change requests. Key elements of change control. 1. Managing change requests. Change control is primarily concerned with overseeing change requests that could potentially affect the project's scope, schedule, cost, or other baseline parameters. These changes can range from modifications in requirements to adjustments in project deliverables. 2. Systematic approach. Change control follows a structured and consistent approach to address changes. This ensures that changes are not haphazardly incorporated, preventing disruptions to the project's initial plans. 3. Capturing change. Change control starts with the identification of a proposed change. This could be initiated by stakeholders, project team members, or other sources. Each change is documented to provide a clear record. 4. Evaluation and analysis. Once identified, the change is evaluated thoroughly. This involves assessing its potential impact on the project's scope, timeline, budget, and other aspects. The evaluation helps determine the significance and feasibility of the change. 5. Approval, rejection, or deferral. Based on the evaluation, a decision is made regarding the change request. It can be approved if deemed necessary and feasible, rejected if it doesn't align with project goals, or deferred to be addressed at a later stage. In essence, change control is a strategic methodology that safeguards the project's integrity by systematically handling change requests. By meticulously evaluating and managing changes, projects can maintain alignment with their original goals while also accommodating necessary adjustments. Purpose of change control: ensuring purposeful and efficient changes. The purpose of the change control process is to maintain a structured approach to evaluating and managing changes within a project, ensuring that modifications are only introduced when necessary and beneficial. This method prevents unwarranted disruptions to the project's course, conserving valuable time and resources. Every approved change is meticulously documented to create a comprehensive record of the evolution of the project. Importantly, the change control process is an integral component of the broader change management plan, aligning changes with strategic goals and minimizing unnecessary disturbances. Key objectives of the change control process. 1. Preventing unnecessary changes. One of the primary objectives of change control is to safeguard the project from changes that lack a valid reason or clear benefits. By subjecting every change to evaluation, the process prevents arbitrary alterations that could lead to inefficiencies or confusion. 2. Resource conservation. By evaluating the necessity and impact of changes, the change control process ensures that resources, such as time, money, and personnel, are allocated to changes that contribute to project objectives. This avoids the wastage of valuable resources on trivial or non-essential modifications. 3. Documenting changes. Every approved change is documented thoroughly as part of the change control process. This documentation serves as a historical record of decisions, rationale, and the evolution of the project. It provides transparency and accountability throughout the project lifecycle. 4. Alignment with change management. The change control process operates within the larger framework of the change management plan. This alignment ensures that changes are not isolated occurrences but are integrated into the organization's strategic approach to change. Benefits of effective change control. Focused adaptation. Change control ensures that changes are purposeful and directly contribute to project success. Risk mitigation. By evaluating changes, potential risks and negative consequences are identified and mitigated. Resource efficiency. Resources are channeled into meaningful changes, optimizing project efficiency. Consistency. The process maintains consistency in evaluating and managing changes, preventing ad hoc alterations. Transparency. Thorough documentation increases transparency and accountability for change-related decisions. Integration with change management. The change control process is closely intertwined with the broader change management plan. Change management addresses the people side of change, considering communication, engagement, and cultural aspects. Change control complements this by focusing on the systematic evaluation and management of changes to ensure that they align with project goals and the organization's overall strategy. In essence, the purpose of the change control process is to ensure that changes introduced into a project are meaningful, well evaluated, and aligned with organizational objectives. This systematic approach minimizes disruptions, optimizes resource allocation, and contributes to the overall success of the project. Change request. Initiating controlled change. A change request serves as the initial catalyst for commencing the change control process. It signifies the initiation of evaluating and managing changes in a systematic manner. Change requests can stem from various sources, such as stakeholders advocating for new features, identification of flaws during project execution, upgrades, or other factors. Irrespective of their origin, change control assesses the significance of each change request and strategizes its feasible implementation. Key aspects of a change request. 1. Initiating change. A change request triggers the process of evaluating whether a proposed change should be incorporated into the project or organizational process. 2. Diverse sources. Change requests can originate from stakeholders, project team members, clients, or the need to address unforeseen issues during project execution. 3. Variety of changes. Change requests encompass a broad spectrum of changes, including new features, repairs, upgrades, adjustments to requirements, and more. 4. Evaluation and approval. Change control assesses the value, feasibility, and impact of each change request. Some may be approved, while others could be rejected or deferred. 5. Adherence to procedures. The change control process is subject to variations across industries and organizations. Each entity follows its own established procedures for evaluating and managing change requests. Importance of change requests. Responsive to stakeholders, change requests acknowledge the needs and feedback of stakeholders, ensuring that their concerns and ideas are considered. Adaptation to realities. As projects progress, unforeseen issues can emerge. change requests address these concerns and offer solutions to enhance project outcomes. Continuous improvement. Change requests foster continuous improvement by allowing organizations to adapt to changing environments and technologies. Optimized resource allocation. Change requests are evaluated to determine their feasibility and potential impact, ensuring that resources are allocated effectively. Flexibility. Incorporating change requests enhances the organization's ability to adapt to evolving market dynamics and customer preferences. In conclusion, a change request serves as the catalyst for the change control process. By systematically evaluating and managing change requests, organizations ensure that each proposed alteration is carefully considered, aligned with objectives, and strategically implemented. This responsiveness to change supports innovation, enhances project outcomes, and contributes to overall organizational agility. Steps to the change control process. Guiding change systematically. The change control process comprises a series of structured steps that guide the evaluation and management of proposed changes. These steps ensure that changes are thoroughly considered, aligned with project goals, and strategically implemented. Here are the 5 key steps within the change control process. 1. Propose change. 2. Impact summary. 3. Making a decision. 4. Make the change. 5. Closure. Marks the point at which a proposed alteration, modification, or adjustment to an ongoing project is officially introduced for consideration. This step serves as the trigger for evaluating whether the proposed change should be integrated into the project's scope, objectives, and plans. Key aspects of the proposed change step. 1. Change identification. The process begins with the identification of a change requirement. This can stem from various sources, including stakeholders, team members, clients, or even internal observations of project performance. 2. Formal proposal. Once the change is identified, it is formally proposed through a documented change request. This request outlines the nature of the change, its rationale, and the expected benefits or outcomes. 3. Documentation. A detailed documentation of the proposed change request is created. This includes all relevant information, such as the reason for the change, the specific scope of alteration, and any potential impact it might have. 4. Stakeholder involvement. Stakeholders who are relevant to the change are engaged at this stage. This might involve soliciting input, feedback, or endorsement from those who will be impacted by the change. 5. Clear communication. Effective communication is essential during this step. The proposed change should be communicated to all relevant parties, ensuring that everyone is aware of the potential alteration. Importance of the proposed change step. Proactive adaptation. This step encourages proactive identification of issues, gaps, or opportunities for improvement within ongoing projects. Stakeholder engagement. Stakeholders have an opportunity to voice their concerns, suggestions, or insights related to the proposed change. Transparency. Formal documentation and communication foster transparency, ensuring that all relevant parties are informed and on the same page. Rationale establishment. The change's rationale and potential benefits are articulated clearly, providing context for evaluation. Structured process. The proposed change step introduces a systematic process for introducing alterations, preventing ad hoc changes that lack proper evaluation. Challenges and considerations. Balancing change. Not all proposed changes are feasible or aligned with project goals. Evaluating and prioritizing changes can be a challenge. Impact evaluation. It might be challenging to accurately assess the potential impact of the change without a thorough evaluation process. Resource allocation. Determining whether the change is worth the resources required for evaluation and potential implementation is essential. So, to recap, the first thing to do is to identify the change. This can come from anyone on the project team, a stakeholder, or even a customer. There must be a channel open for these suggestions to flow. The change proposal would describe the change and how it would benefit the project or organization. If there are other reasons for the change, outline them on the change request form. That would then be added to the change log. The impact summary step is a critical phase within the 5-step change control process. It involves a thorough evaluation of the potential consequences and effects of a proposed change on various aspects of a project, including scope, timeline, resources, stakeholders, and overall project objectives. The impact summary provides decision-makers with valuable insights into how the change could impact the project's trajectory. Key aspects of the impact summary step. 1. Assessment scope. The impact summary assesses the change's potential influence across multiple dimensions, ensuring a holistic understanding of its ramifications. 2. Timeline impact. The evaluation considers how the proposed change could affect project timelines, including possible delays or accelerated completion. 3. Resource evaluation. The impact on resource allocation is analyzed. This includes manpower, finances, equipment, and other necessary assets. 4. Inter-project relations. The potential effect on other concurrent projects is considered. This evaluation prevents conflicts or disruptions across multiple projects. 5. Stakeholder implications. The impact on different stakeholders, including clients, team members, and end users, is explored to understand potential concerns. 6. Risk identification. The evaluation identifies any new risks or challenges that could emerge due to the proposed change. This proactive assessment allows for risk mitigation strategies. 7. Alignment with objectives. The impact summary examines whether the proposed change aligns with project objectives and overall organizational goals. Role in decision-making. The impact summary serves as a critical tool for decision-makers, equipping them with the information needed to make informed choices regarding the proposed change. It ensures that decisions are based on a comprehensive understanding of the change's potential benefits, drawbacks, and implications. Benefits of the impact summary step. Informed decision-making. Stakeholders make decisions based on a comprehensive understanding of the proposed change's potential effects. Optimized resource allocation. Clear insights into resource needs help allocate resources effectively. Risk mitigation. Identifying potential risks early enables the development of proactive mitigation strategies. Inter-project coordination. The assessment ensures that changes do not disrupt other concurrent projects. Holistic view. The summary addresses the change's implications across various dimensions, fostering a complete understanding. Challenges and considerations. Data availability. Accurate impact assessment requires reliable data and projections, which might be challenging to gather. Complexity. Evaluating potential consequences across various aspects of the project can be intricate, requiring a comprehensive approach. Subjectivity. Interpreting the impact might involve subjective judgment, especially when it comes to qualitative aspects. So, to recap, once the change has been proposed, it's now up to the project manager to consider it in the larger context of the project. How will that change impact a number of variables? Some of the things to think about are the costs, and if there would be savings or a larger outlay of money required. What are the benefits of those cost issues? Are there any legal or regulatory constraints? How will the change impact your schedule? Will you need to employ more resources? What about other projects, and the overall business? Will the change bring new risk or issues to the project? Once the project manager has done the due diligence, they recommend the change is either approved or denied. The making the decision step is a pivotal phase within the 5-step change control process. This step involves evaluating the proposed change's impact, benefits, feasibility, and alignment with project objectives. Based on this evaluation, stakeholders and decision-makers make an informed choice regarding whether the change should be approved, rejected, or deferred to a later stage. Key aspects of the making the decision step. 1. Thorough evaluation. Decision-makers assess the information provided in the impact summary. This includes the change's potential effects, implications, and alignment with project goals. 2. Balancing factors. Decision-makers weigh the pros and cons of the change. They consider potential benefits against possible drawbacks, as well as the overall feasibility. 3. Stakeholder input. Relevant stakeholders' perspectives are considered during the decision-making process. Their insights can provide valuable context and considerations. 4. Risk assessment. Any identified risks or challenges associated with the change are evaluated. Decision-makers determine whether these risks can be mitigated effectively. 5. Strategic alignment. The change's alignment with project objectives, organizational goals, and broader strategies is a key factor in the decision. 6. Decision criteria. Decision criteria are established to ensure consistency and objectivity in evaluating the change proposal. These criteria guide the decision-making process. Types of decisions. 1. Approval. If the proposed change is deemed feasible, beneficial, and aligned with project objectives, it is approved for implementation. 2. Rejection. If the change is found to have substantial drawbacks, risks, or misalignment with project goals, it might be rejected. 3. Deferral. In some cases, a change might be deferred to a later stage. This could be due to resource constraints, timing considerations, or the need for further evaluation. Importance of the making the decision step. Informed choices. This step ensures that decisions are based on a comprehensive understanding of the change's impact and implications. Alignment. Decisions align changes with project and organizational goals, preventing arbitrary alterations. Resource optimization: only changes that align with project objectives and provide substantial benefits are approved, optimizing resource allocation. Risk mitigation: careful evaluation enables the identification and addressing of potential risks. Transparency: the decision-making process is documented, fostering accountability and transparency. Challenges and considerations. Subjectivity: decisions might involve subjective judgment, especially when assessing qualitative aspects of the change. Trade-offs: decision-makers might need to make trade-offs between different aspects of the change, considering the bigger picture. Stakeholder alignment: aligning diverse stakeholder perspectives and expectations can be challenging. The project manager makes the recommendation but is not always the authority to make the final decision on the change. Whoever that person or those persons are, the project manager will present their findings to them. Then, the person or persons authorized to make the decision will either accept the change, but with notes and conditions, reject the change, or defer, which means the change will not be carried forward at this time but will be further deliberated on later. The make the change step is a fundamental phase within the 5-step change control process. After a proposed change is evaluated, approved, and the decision is made to implement it, this step involves the strategic planning and execution of the change. It ensures that the change is smoothly integrated into the project while minimizing disruptions and optimizing resource utilization. Key aspects of the make the change step. 1. Strategic planning. The change implementation is carefully planned, considering the necessary steps, resources, timelines, and potential challenges. 2. Resource allocation. Resources required for implementing the change are allocated efficiently, ensuring that personnel, materials, and finances are appropriately distributed. 3. Coordination and communication. Effective communication is crucial during this step. Team members, stakeholders, and relevant parties are informed about the impending change, its implications, and the execution plan. 4. Testing and validation. Depending on the nature of the change, testing and validation might be necessary. This ensures that the change functions as intended and does not introduce unforeseen issues. 5. Monitoring and feedback. The implementation progress is monitored closely. Feedback is collected to address any unexpected challenges or issues that arise during the execution. 6. Change management. Communication and change management strategies are employed to ensure that team members and stakeholders are well prepared for the change. Benefits of the make the change step. Controlled implementation. The change is introduced in a controlled and systematic manner, reducing the risk of disruptions. Resource optimization. Efficient resource allocation ensures that the change is implemented within the allocated resources. Minimize downtime. Strategic planning reduces the impact of the change on project operations and timelines. Smooth transition. Effective communication and change management strategies prepare stakeholders for the change, minimizing resistance. Risk mitigation. Testing and monitoring help identify and address issues early, reducing the potential for negative consequences. Challenges and considerations. Unforeseen challenges. Despite thorough planning, unexpected challenges or obstacles might emerge during implementation. Resistance. Some team members or stakeholders might resist the change, requiring effective change management strategies. Technical complexities. Certain changes might involve technical intricacies that need careful attention during implementation. Coordination and communication. Effective communication is crucial during this step. Team members, stakeholders, and relevant parties are informed about the impending change, its implications, and the execution plan. 4. Testing and validation. Depending on the nature of the change, testing and validation might be necessary. This ensures that the change functions as intended and does not introduce unforeseen issues. 5. Monitoring and feedback. The implementation progress is monitored closely. Feedback is collected to address any unexpected challenges or issues that arise during the execution. 6. Change management. Communication and change management strategies are employed to ensure that team members and stakeholders are well prepared for the change. Benefits of the make the change step. Controlled implementation. The change is introduced in a controlled and systematic manner, reducing the risk of disruptions. Resource optimization. Efficient resource allocation ensures that the change is implemented within the allocated resources. Minimize downtime. Strategic planning reduces the impact of the change on project operations and timelines. Smooth transition. Effective communication and change management strategies prepare stakeholders for the change, minimizing resistance. Risk mitigation. Testing and monitoring help identify and address issues early, reducing the potential for negative consequences. Challenges and considerations. Unforeseen challenges. Despite thorough planning, unexpected challenges or obstacles might emerge during implementation. Resistance. Some team members or stakeholders might resist the change, requiring effective change management strategies. Technical complexities. Certain changes might involve technical intricacies that need careful attention during implementation. If the change is not approved, then that's status quo as far as managing the project. However, a change that has been accepted moves on to the planning stage. You'll develop a plan of action, including a schedule with start and end dates, all of which must meet with the approval of the project stakeholders. The plan should include a regression test in case the change proves too problematic to follow through to the end and the project must revert to its original intent. After the change plan is completed, it's usually followed by a post-mortem to review any mishaps and successes. The closure step is the final phase within the 5-step change control process. This step involves reviewing and reflecting upon the implementation of the approved change. It ensures that the change's outcomes are assessed, lessons are learned, and the project team gains valuable insights for future endeavors. Key aspects of the closure step. 1. Outcome evaluation. The change's outcomes are evaluated against the intended objectives. This assessment provides insights into whether the change met its goals. 2. Lessons learned. The project team reflects on the entire change control process, identifying strengths, weaknesses, successes, and areas for improvement. 3. Documentation. The outcomes, lessons learned, and any adjustments made during the implementation are documented. This documentation serves as a valuable resource for future projects. 4. Stakeholder feedback. Feedback from stakeholders, team members, and end users is gathered to understand their perspectives on the change and its impact. 5. Business impact. The broader impact of the change on the overall business is assessed. This includes evaluating whether the change aligned with strategic goals and yielded positive results. Benefits of the closure step. Continuous improvement. The reflection process fosters a culture of continuous improvement, enabling organizations to refine their change management practices. Learning opportunities. Lessons learned from the change implementation offer insights into what worked well and areas that need refinement. Accountability. Documentation holds the team accountable for the change's outcomes, ensuring transparency and responsibility. Strategic alignment. Evaluating the change's impact on business objectives helps organizations ensure alignment with strategic goals. Challenges and considerations. Subjective interpretation. Assessing the change's outcomes and lessons learned might involve subjective interpretations. Complex metrics. Evaluating the change's impact might be complex, especially if the outcomes are multifaceted. Balancing resources. Allocating resources for closure activities while ensuring minimal disruption to ongoing projects can be challenging. Just as in any project, the final phase of your change control plan is closing it up. This includes having the person who requested the change to oversee the final deliverable and make sure they agree with it. Once they have signed off on the change, then any outstanding paperwork must be completed, such as the change log, and filed away for future use. Now let's see the benefits of the 5-step change control process. Structured evaluation. The process ensures that proposed changes are systematically evaluated and aligned with project goals. Transparency. Each step is documented, providing transparency and accountability for decision-making. Resource optimization. Changes are assessed for their feasibility and potential impact on resources, enabling effective resource allocation. Informed decisions. The impact summary equips decision-makers with the information needed to make well-informed choices. Adaptation. The process allows for controlled adaptation to changes, enhancing project and organizational agility. In summary, the 5-step change control process offers a systematic approach to managing proposed changes within projects. By following these steps, organizations can navigate changes with greater efficiency, ensure strategic alignment, and achieve successful change implementation while minimizing disruptions and resource wastage. The benefits of a well-executed change control process are numerous and contribute to the smooth and effective management of changes within an organization. Change control refers to the systematic approach of planning, reviewing, approving, implementing, and monitoring changes to systems, processes, or projects. Here are some key benefits of a well-executed change control process. It improves teamwork. Change is an opportunity for your team to work together to figure out how to respond to the change request. The teamwork involved in change control can be a boon to the productivity of the entire project. A structured change control process helps assess and mitigate risks associated with changes. It allows organizations to identify potential issues before they escalate into larger problems, reducing the likelihood of disruptions or failures. By thoroughly evaluating and planning changes, a well-executed change control process helps minimize disruptions to ongoing operations. This ensures that changes are implemented in a controlled manner, reducing downtime and avoiding unexpected outages. Change control not only reinforces your team's ability to work better together, but the positive effects bleed into overall efficiency. It works hand in glove with teamwork, of course. But the more you engage your team in change control, the more adept they become at solving problems quickly. This helps with the change, naturally, but will also make your team more effective in all their duties. A standardized change control process promotes consistency across the organization. It ensures that changes are handled in a uniform manner, regardless of the team or department involved, leading to greater predictability and reliability. In regulated industries or environments, a well-executed change control process ensures compliance with industry standards, regulations, and best practices. It helps organizations maintain audit trails and documentation, demonstrating their adherence to required guidelines. Through proper planning and evaluation, change control helps allocate resources effectively. This prevents unnecessary expenditures on changes that might not bring significant benefits, while prioritizing high-impact changes. Change control informs the project manager during the planning phase of the project. They will start thinking about change and how to better respond to it and learn from their experience with change control to put more safeguards up front in their planning for future projects. Clear communication is essential during any change. A well-executed change control process ensures that all relevant stakeholders are informed about upcoming changes, their impact, and any required actions, fostering transparency and buy-in. By analyzing the outcomes of implemented changes, organizations can learn and improve over time. A robust change control process encourages a culture of continuous improvement, as lessons learned from previous changes are applied to future endeavors. Without proper change control, organizations might experience ad hoc changes that can lead to chaos and instability. A structured process provides a higher level of control over what changes are being made, why, and how they are implemented. Conflicts and misunderstandings can arise when changes are made without proper documentation and communication. A well-executed change control process reduces the likelihood of conflicts by ensuring that all relevant parties are on the same page regarding the changes being made. A structured change control process encourages data-driven decision-making. By collecting and analyzing data on the impacts of changes, organizations can make more informed choices about future changes, based on empirical evidence. In summary, a well-executed change control process offers improved risk management, operational stability, and transparency. It helps organizations adapt to evolving circumstances while maintaining control, compliance, and efficiency in their operations. Poorly executed change control can have significant negative consequences for organizations. When changes are not managed properly, they can lead to various issues that impact operations, quality, and overall business performance. Here are some of the downsides of poorly executed change control. The first major pitfall of a poorly executed change control is not reaching your project goals. The project will go over budget and miss deadlines. The quality can suffer, and that's just on the project level. the impact can also expand to an organizational level. Changes that are not properly planned and tested can lead to unexpected disruptions in operations. System failures, downtime, and outages can occur, affecting the organization's ability to deliver products or services. On the project level, outside of cost and risk, there can arise problems with the tools and technologies you use, processes getting disrupted, misleading reporting, and so on. Not handling change can lead to delays, missed milestones, having to rework design, and burning out your team. Poorly managed changes can introduce new risks or exacerbate existing ones. Without proper assessment and mitigation, organizations may inadvertently introduce vulnerabilities, security breaches, or regulatory non-compliance. Unplanned or poorly communicated changes can lead to confusion and inefficiencies among employees. Lost time spent troubleshooting issues can result in decreased productivity across the organization. Changes that are not adequately tested and validated can impact the quality of products or services. This can lead to customer dissatisfaction, reputational damage, and increased costs to rectify the issues. Without proper change control, the outcomes of changes become unpredictable. Organizations might not fully understand the implications of the changes they are implementing, leading to unintended consequences. The project might have to be put on hold or dismissed, which is a big hit to any organization. Poor change control can result in a lack of accountability. It becomes difficult to trace the responsible parties for specific changes, making it challenging to rectify issues or learn from mistakes. Inadequate communication about changes can lead to misunderstandings among stakeholders. Employees, customers, and partners might not be aware of the changes or their impacts, leading to confusion and frustration. Productivity takes a big hit, and you may start to lose team members. Those that remain are no longer working at the same level in terms of quality. This dip in morale then impacts customers, suppliers. This creates stress and fatigue, which leads to stagnation. Not a great scenario. Changes that are not properly managed can escalate into larger problems. A minor issue caused by a poorly executed change, if left unaddressed, can lead to cascading failures affecting multiple systems or processes. Poorly executed changes can consume resources without delivering meaningful benefits. This wastage of time, money, and effort can have a negative impact on the organization's bottom line. When changes are poorly managed, employees may become resistant to future changes due to negative past experiences. This resistance can hinder innovation and the organization's ability to adapt to new opportunities. In regulated industries, poorly executed changes can lead to legal and regulatory consequences. Non-compliance with industry standards or data protection regulations can result in fines and legal liabilities. Continual issues arising from poorly executed changes can create a culture of blame and mistrust within the organization. Team morale can suffer, leading to decreased employee engagement and collaboration. In summary, poorly executed change control can result in a range of detrimental effects, from operational disruptions and quality issues to decreased productivity and reputational damage. To avoid these downsides, organizations should prioritize implementing a robust change control process that ensures changes are planned, tested, communicated, and monitored effectively.